of us have some special spaces in our rooms that need a little bit of attention. They may be unusual spaces. Sometimes when you have a redo in a house and you take some square footage from another room to make a room bigger, you're left with really small little spaces that need a little bit of decorating. Sometimes you actually have that special space in mind when you're designing an entire house. Regardless, there are little bitty opportunities, let's say, to do something kind of different and not feel like you're making a huge decorating commitment. My decorating process will take you through those 8 simple steps that you need to think about every time you decide you want to redesign a space. My hope for you is that you will end up with a space that speaks to you, your taste, and your style. This is part of a series of a lake house build and design. We have one big project that we've been working on, and that is a lake house. I have 2 areas that I made into bar areas. In the upstairs, right outside of a master bedroom, we decided to take a small space that was right across from our laundry area and make it a coffee bar. We thought that would be a good idea because we didn't want to keep going up and down the stairs to go and get coffee throughout the morning. And we thought it'd be nice to have sodas, water, coffee maker close to the room and right close to the sitting area that is just outside of that room. Okay, this is my favorite part because this is the room that's just about my husband and me. This is going to be a coffee bar. There's a pocket door right here that will close it off to the den. There's a window that overlooks the water. Right here is going to be the counter and under counter fridge, coffee maker, a couple of shelves. I'm not going to have curtains. Everything's going to be very clean. I anticipate a black countertop and painted cabinets. Coffee bar over here, nice view out onto the lake. I love this color. This color is the same color as my bathroom wall and the same color as my exterior paints. We got a black refrigerator to go here, copper sinks here. Everything else is black, of course. Bar area. I'm not sure what I'm doing with this wall. I am either going to put one of my landscape photos up here. I've taken a lot of landscape photos around the lake area. I may put one of my collections of sailboat pictures or clipper ship pictures. I don't know. It might be one big mirror. It might just be mirror floor from here up to the ceiling. That way I would be able to reflect all of this light coming in and see the lake on both sides. Step 1, decide what the purpose of the room is. Now the main level bar area is right off of the kitchen. I wanted it to be separate and distinctive so that traffic would be pulled out of the regular kitchen and into the area where the drinks, sodas, tea, coffee, alcohol, everything is over in that particular area with all the cups and glasses and plastic cups. Everything is over in that one area. When we are entertaining and we do a lot at the lake, we like to keep traffic to a minimum in the kitchen area, and having this separate bar area really helps us. I had cabinets built all the way up to the ceiling so that I could store a lot of glasses, store blenders, alcohol bottles that are usually kind of tall, just a lot of things that we need to operate the bar and to serve any kind of drink. I really wanted a lot of space for that, but I wanted it all to be covered. I didn't want glass front, I didn't want shelving, I wanted everything to be covered because there are times when we aren't at the lake and there's a lot of dust, and if I keep everything in the cabinets, I don't have to dust things. I'm excited about putting blenders and those types of things in here, large pitchers, all kinds of stuff. This actually was built around one of the concrete supports, so we used this cabinetry to hide the support as well. Kind of nice. This is a beverage refrigerator. So we've gotten a lot accomplished with this wall here, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. Step number 2 for both bar areas. What is the overall look that we want in these 2 areas? I know I say this a lot, but we really want to keep it simple. It's a small house. We want to make sure we don't have too much going on. So we used very simple cabinetry, very simple pulls, very simple faucets, not very ornate. I used the same cabinet style
in the bar areas that I did in the kitchen. I thought it would be best not to bring in too many different elements. So I have a very simple cabinet front.
Have the same copper sink, same countertop as we have upstairs at our coffee bar. We were reluctant to have too many finishes, too many different things going on in such a small house.
In the upstairs, because of budget, I put shelves, just 2 of them, over the lower cabinets so that I could hang cups and put some glasses on top of the shelves. Step 3, choose your fabrics. Now, in a bar area, you probably won't have a lot of opportunity to use fabrics. There is a window in the upstairs coffee bar area, but it is so small that I really feel like if I try to do any kind of drapes or a shade or anything like that, it would just be too much. Plus, this is a lake house. I'm the maid, so let me tell you, I do not want even more things to worry about cleaning. So maybe if this was in my primary home, I'd do something a little bit more fancy, but I want to be able to relax when I go to the lake, so I'm not going to create any more work for myself. Now, a rug is a great way to add interest to a bar area. In the upstairs bar area, I bought a rug at TJ Maxx that had sailboats on it. It didn't cost me more than $50, I know. Love it, it's great, it's washable, wonderful. Downstairs, I used Ruggables. By now, you probably have figured out that I love, love, love a Ruggable. So I bought a runner that goes right in front of that bar downstairs, and it has proved to be a pretty good investment. Step 4, choose your hard surfaces. You have flooring, tile, possibly backsplash, and then whatever type of cabinetry you want to put in. I chose to paint the cabinets the same color as the exterior in an attempt to try to tie the outside in with the inside. My splurge was putting in a copper sink in each one of the bar areas. One in the lower bar area, one in the upper bar area that are small and they're copper. They're gorgeous. I really wanted those because when you're pouring out coffee, red wine, Cokes, that's what we say in the South, sodas, those kind of stain the sinks, and even if you keep them clean and scrubbed, they start to tint in a way, and the copper does not show that. So that was one of my 3 splurges, you'll hear about the other 2 later, that I wanted to do in the bar areas. Don't miss this critical step. Think about how you are going to use the space. If you are going to have red wine, coffee, sodas, all types of colored drinks and umbrella drinks, you will want a countertop that is easy to keep clean. You will want rugs that are easy to keep clean. The inevitable is going to happen. Even when you open up your house for the first time and invite your first set of guests, and one of them decides to drop a bottle of champagne on your brand new runner in front of the bar. You know who you are. But if it's easy to clean, you can get rid of that mishap and it'll look like nothing ever happened. But you won't forget. It stays right here. You're gonna remember what that person did. Step number 5, choose your paint. I always say to choose the paint later in the process so that you can match it possibly to countertops, cabinet colors, backsplashes, whatever hard surfaces you have. That gives you the opportunity to match the paint with that. We don't have a lot to choose from when it comes to countertops, especially if you have a budget like mine. So it's a lot easier to have a paint match to these things and move forward than to choose your paint in the very beginning and then try to find a tile or a countertop material that will match your paint. Try to remember to put the paint choices towards the end of this process. And for us, it's step number 5. Now, I used my paint color as my backsplash. I really, for whatever reason, do not like the tile going up behind my countertops. I like for it to be plain. I like a little lip on the back, and then I want to paint my walls whatever color I want to. They're easy to wipe down. I don't have any major issues, but it does kind of allow me some flexibility if I wanted to hang things under the cabinets or put something on the wall. If I don't have tile there, I can nail whatever I want to into those walls. So think about that kind of flexibility and whether or not you want to have tile. Step number 6, choose your wood tones. In this case, the only thing I really had to think about was whether or not I wanted stained cabinets or painted cabinets. I have stained cabinets in the kitchen. I really wanted this bar area in the lower level to be distinctive. So I painted that the black color and left the stained cabinets just in the kitchen area. Step number 7, do you have any existing pieces to use? Not so much in a bar area. I did have some art that I wanted to hang. I also had a friend who was downsizing and had some fantastic art, and I got some of his art pieces for a really good price. And they had ships in them. I still went with my ship theme. To be honest, I really would have liked to have had something else there. What I really wanted was a solid mirror or mirrored tiles. I really felt like it would have reflected light, which would have been wonderful, but we were at the end of construction and we felt like we were just throwing money out the window left and right. And we decided budget was just gonna keep us from doing that. I may put it in later, but it gets to the point where you're just like,
stop spending money.
So that's what we did. We used the art. I like it for now. I think it looks good, but I still reserve the right to change that later if budget will allow. Step number 8, choose your fixtures and choose your lighting. In a bar area, you do have to choose your plumbing fixtures. I'm sticking with the black because everything else in the house is black. I also decided to use black on the knobs and the handles on the cabinetry. Now, lighting was a little difficult for me in both bar areas. For a while, I thought I was going to do a really cool, kind of kitschy hanging light fixture down over the bar, but it seemed to just get in the way. In fact, at one point, I was going to put a really small round table in front of the downstairs bar because I thought it'd be kind of cool to sit there and maybe have a drink and play some cards, but it just got in the way. So I ended up keeping it really clean and just used the recessed lighting that we've used throughout the house. So I have no light fixtures, and everything else is pretty simple. Any other considerations? Just remember, in the case of a small space, you really have an opportunity to make a big, big impact with very little. You can use wallpaper, maybe a really cool graphic wallpaper, to make a statement, and it won't feel like such a big commitment when it's in a small space. So think about doing something kind of fun. Maybe use some fun lighting, whatever you think might make that space very unique, very special, and just keep it from looking so ordinary and boring.